Good morning. It is Monday, and we are going to start our interactive read alouds to get ready for Pirates Past Noon. So, today we are going to listen to two interactive read alouds, but when we meet, I'm only going to ask you to write about one of them. So, remember, we're listening to things that and I want you to listen for something you find interesting or new vocabulary that you've learned. So there'll be two videos on the website for today for you to listen to. Here we go. Interactive read aloud number 1 is Caribbean Island Ecosystem. Ooh, that looks nice. I wish we were there right now. The most famous pirates lived 300 to 400 years in a part of the world called the Caribbean. The Caribbean is an area of ocean and islands between the continents of North America and South America. Islands are areas of land that are surrounded by water on all sides. Many Caribbean islands are small and no one lives there. Other islands are bigger and have towns and people living on them. Some Caribbean islands have tall mountains and hills. They are called high islands. Some islands don't rise very high out of the ocean. These are called low islands. Along the edges of the islands where the ocean meets the land, there is often an area of soft sand called a beach. Do you remember another ecosystem with a lot of sand? Think about what we just learned about with our old ecosystem in the desert. Most of the Caribbean islands are a tropical island ecosystem. The climate is warm and often wet, with lots of rain. Huge windy storms called hurricanes sometimes blow through the Caribbean island ecosystem. These storms may stay for a few days. Animals and people living there have to find shelter to protect themselves from the fierce weather until it goes away. One thing that makes the Caribbean island ecosystem special is all the plants growing there. Thanks to the rain and sun, most islands are covered in green plants like trees, grass, and flowers. One very important kind of plant that grows in the Caribbean is the palm tree. What do you observe about palm trees compared to trees in England's forest ecosystem? How do they look similar, and how are they different? Look at all this is just the trunk of the tree, and here's the branches. Now here's the trunk, but it's branches coming out this way. Plants are different sizes and shapes depending on what is most helpful in their ecosystem. In the Caribbean, hurricane winds can rip away leaves and branches. It's useful for palm trees to only have a few strong leaves up at the top. Trees in England's forest don't get hurricanes in their ecosystem, so they can afford to have more leaves and branches. Palm trees have leaves that are shaped like spiky feathers, all attached to a strong stem in the middle. The leaves are thick and don't tear easily. During a hurricane, they can fold up into smaller space, allowing the wind to flow around them instead of blowing them away. Palm trees have long, thin trunks. Unlike other tree trunks, the palm tree's trunk is flexible. It bends with hurricane winds instead of breaking. When the hurricane has passed, the trunks return to their usual shape. Can you bend your body like a palm tree in the wind? Maybe you can take a break, stand up, and try bending. Palm trees have fruit growing on them, such as coconuts. Coconuts are the tree's seeds able to sprout into a new coconut palm tree. The coconut palm protects its seed with a thick, hard shell. Coconuts have such tough armor that we often need tools like a hammer or drill to crack them open. It's worth the effort of opening coconuts because people can use them in many different ways. Out of coconuts, we can get water. Coconuts store water for the growing plant. We call this coconut water, and it's a good source of drinking water. Food. The white insides of the coconut are good to eat. We can turn the fruit into sugar and oil too. And here we have tools. The hairy-looking strands of a coconut can be used to make rope, brushes, and other tools. After the fruit has been eaten, people in the Caribbean can make things out of the coconut shells. What could you engineer out of coconut shells like this? It's not just the coconuts that are a useful part of the palm tree. People in the Caribbean and in other parts of the world use palm trunks and leaves to build shelters, furniture, boats, and much more. Here, look, if you're pointing to palm tree trunk beams on the porch, and here there's a palm leaf roof. Plants like the palm tree help other Caribbean animals find shelter too. Brightly colored parrots and woodpeckers build their nests in Caribbean palm trees. So here's the parrot, and here's the woodpecker. Reptiles like iguanas make their homes in palm trees. While some animals enjoy the shade that palm trees give, reptiles climb up to the top so they're in the sun. Their bodies can't warm themselves up, so they need lots of warmth from the sun to stay alive. The warm Caribbean climate is perfect for iguanas. Can you think of any other ways plants might help animals in the Caribbean? Many Caribbean animals depend on plants like the palm tree for food. Different kinds of palm trees grow different kinds of fruit. Flying animals like birds and bats eat the fruit that grows on palm trees. But none of them are strong enough to crack open coconut fruits. Many kinds of birds and bats are omnivores. They eat plants, but they also eat animals like insects. The Caribbean islands have many of these bugs for them to eat, such as butterflies and beetles. And what do these beetles and butterflies eat? Plants. The Caribbean ecosystem, like all ecosystems, is made up of plants and animals that are connected. So here, the bat eats the fruit and the bat eats the bug. The bug eats the plant. And the plant helps give shade and protection to some of the other animals. Imagine you're visiting a Caribbean island. What kind of clothes will you bring for the warm climate? What will it look like? What plants and animals might you see? So, do you think you would bring the coat and mittens? I think maybe a t-shirt and shorts. But remember, there are hurricanes and rain, so maybe the umbrella, and definitely sunglasses to shield your eyes from the bright sun. So here's our glossary. We have our pirate. These are the Caribbean islands. This is an island. Sand, a hurricane, palm tree, coconut, parrot, and butterfly. Remember, sometimes I like to keep this page up and choose a picture and figure out what I'd like to write from that picture. So I'm going to do another video separately with our second interactive read aloud. So stay tuned.